Alright, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there, onto the Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. So a quick show to the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. Let me get to the scriptures. It says Romans 11:7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for. Now, what does he mean by Israel have not obtained? The whole nation of Israel, which are you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. All right, you are the biblical Israelites. You have some Israelites that call themselves Christians, some Israelites that call themselves Baptists and Muslims and so forth. Israelites that's into every facet of form of religion that's out there. Self-belief, atheists. Some got Israelites that are atheists that don't believe in anything. All right. And all these different avenues, these different doors, they're still not happy because they had not obtained that what they was looking for. All right. And what was our people looking truly for? They're trying to find answers. All right. Answers that are acceptable. It says, I said that. Before I get to this one real quick. I should get this one. Isaiah 6:9. It says, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat. But who's this people? The nation of Israel. So it's explaining, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their heart, convert and be healed. So the Lord does not want the majority of his people. And I'm gonna bring it home real quick, because watching this, the Apostles video, Apostle Tahar, with Shaman's doppelganger. It's not the first video. He said some crazy shit, not the second, third, but he's on a roll of a disbeliever. All right. And what we've seen is the manifestation of the scriptures. People act like the scriptures, that was just a thing in the past. Nah, we ain't still in biblical time. We still be tested every moment of our life, every facet of our lives. There's a certain type of standard to have. So the Lord does not want 2/3 of his people to understand. Why? Because he wants them to be in this state. All right. And this explained, it says, then it said, I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted, without inhabitant, the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. So the Lord is willing to sacrifice the majority of his people to lead them to their own demise. And that's what's happening. All right. This is what's happening with 2/3 of the nation of Israel. They are lost souls. All right. The scripture tells you real quick, Jeremiah 50. I was going to bring this up. In 6, I believe. It says, for my people have been lost sheep. Right? The shepherds caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. And that's the key. That was the thing that was resonating. What is a resting place? A resting place is where you could get rest, right? So let me finish this off. Not finish it, but it says, what then have Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for? but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So the rest of the nation of Israel were blinded. They have no resting place. Okay? And this, it was a spirit. Before I even watched Apostle Ramlad's video, I was listening to Hebrews, the whole entire book. And it just kept resonating, you know? Because as a nation of people, you call yourself everything under the sun. You're miserable. And why are you miserable for? Because you're lost. You don't have all the questions answered. All right? You still seek something. It's not satisfaction for you. This is why Yahushua said what? Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. St. John 4:18. I gotta go up. St. John 4, and there it is. 13. Yahushua answered and said unto her, whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. Talking about physical water. Okay? So if you do go around drinking regular water, you're going to get thirsty eventually. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. So satisfaction. You'll be satisfied with this truth, with what's being said in the scriptures. Okay? This is why you have people that join camps. I'll always bring up this thing that happened here in New York many years ago. You had an individual that got kicked out. I forgot what reason he got kicked out. That was neither here or there. But the Spirit had mercy on him. So allowed him to come back to the fold. So I believe being young in the truth, we believe that it wasn't like justifiable that he got kicked out, but he got kicked out. Showing that the Spirit, we just children in this thing, right? So when he came back again, he was doing his thing. He had what's that word I'm looking for? He was not in the spotlight. He was more on the background, like before. But he's just coming in. He's coming back to the fold. So one day he goes to the Apostle Ricard. This is when we were on 34th Street. Tell Apostle Ricard, he had to go find himself. Right? So Apostle Ricard said, yeah, you can go. And why are you telling me? You obviously wasn't satisfied. This was not satisfaction. But it was just a way out. But that goes for the majority of people. All right? That goes for the majority of people. So when you get into this truth, this is like the scripture says, Israel have not obtained that we seek it for, but the election have obtained it. Right? It says, finish off, it says, but whosoever drink of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. Because it's what? The scriptures, the word. The Spirit of the Lord is prophecy. All right? The Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai is prophecy. Let me get this real quick. 2 Corinthians 4:3. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. And that's what we come into that realization. This is why you have these other camps and they gimmicky things. Because they can't break down the scriptures. They can't understand the prophecy. All right? And that's why the scripture says this. Hebrews 4 mentioned. I saw that one. Let us therefore fear. So it's all about, the number one thing about this truth is about fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That is literally the first commandment. Okay? People stress about the other gods that's spoken of in that particular commandment, but really, the first commandment is to fear the Lord. And when he mentioned about other gods, he mentioned them because what? Don't compare the God of gods, the creator of all things, with these gods. Fear the Lord, which go into the scripture, Sirach 1:14. I'm thinking of showing that fear is a gift. All right. So though it says, "Let us," Hebrews 4:1, "Let us therefore fear." So that is a gift. So not any person can fear the Lord. All right. As we can clearly see with these reprobates that's out there, least a promise being left us of entering into his rest. Whose rest? Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right. It says, any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them. But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. So another key ingredient. So fear, then is faith. Faith is a gift. I believe that's Ephesians 2:14, I believe so, huh? Let me make sure. 2:14, maybe it's... No, it's not 2:14. But that is good, though. Alien Common. 8:2-8. For grace by ye are saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of the Most High. So faith is a gift. Okay? Another key ingredient of satisfying the Lord. All right? So, but unto everybody else, that want to come against the scriptures, they wasn't mixed with faith. So you can't appease the Lord being faithless. For we which have believed the elect do enter into the rest. All right? And that rest is the scriptures. All right? Believing in the scriptures. That's what the scripture says. This scripture popped in my head. Get this. Let me use this one. Proverbs 18:10. It says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. So the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is that tower. So if you in a tower, a fortress, tower, you at rest. That's what, I'm just going to quote it. Use Psalms 91. Matter of fact, let me read that. Psalms 91:1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I shall say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in Him will I trust. So refuge, a fortress, is what? Something that's strong. When we read the NLT, says, this I declare about the Lord, He alone is my refuge, my place of safety. He is my power, and I will trust in Him. So the rest is found in the scriptures. The secret place is found in the scriptures. Right? So the believers, they found rest. Because the scriptures, like this, is truly the comforter. Something that comforts you is a form of rest. Although the works were finished from the foundation of the world, meaning the elect was predestined, okay, since the foundation of the world. So they the only ones that's going to get the ultimate rest. All right, but for the time being, the rest could be found through the scriptures. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, the Most High did rest the seventh day from all his works. And in this place again, if they shall enter into it, my rest. So no longer would you have question where you from, where you going. All right, that's a form of a rest. Not the physical rest. The physical rest is the kingdom. All right, but you will find a form of rest within the scriptures. Seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom was first preached enter not in because of unbelief. So scripture tells you about the children in the wilderness. I believe it says in here too. But the children in the wilderness, how they didn't receive the rest. All right? The Lord didn't allow it. Because they didn't believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They didn't believe in the scriptures. The spirit of the Most High, the spirit of Yahushai is this what? The spirit of prophecy. They say, I come in the volume of the book. So, he said, take ye my yoke is light. And plenty of other scriptures. I'm thinking of Matthew 13:9. 13 and 9. All right. It's for you to know that the elect to know that the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. Well, unto them, the rest of them, they were blinded. So the Lord is not dealing with any ordinary Israelite. He has been dealing with the elect from the very foundation of the earth. And by dealing with the elect find rest through what? The volume of the book. We are in plain sight for everybody to see. We're like hidden jewels in plain sight. Right in front of public eye. That's the power of the Lord. All right? And each individual brother, a believer, finds rest within the scriptures. So, there was one more scripture. Oh, yeah. Let me finish it off with this. Isaiah 28 and 10. No, I gotta go up. No. Isaiah 28. Yep. Matter of fact. 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are winged from the milk and drawn from the breast. So being winged from the milk is a state of what? An infant. Milk is the basic way of a child being not quite independent, but gaining strength. All right? You gotta look at to gain strength. And the best milk can be what? Found from that child's mother's breast. So if you draw from the breast, you draw it from where? The scriptures. All right? What's some of the basic elements? Color scripture. Salvation. Who's the enemy? Esau. All right? And so forth. How to conduct yourself. These are all basic stuff in our everyday life. This is the foundational pieces of us. For precept must be upon precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little. So the Lord has given us a clue how to find this rest. All right. People can read the scriptures. They can sit there and like, oh, everybody say, oh, I have my Bible, and that Bible just sits there and collects dust. And they can't even break down a simple, basic understanding of the scriptures. All right. Did the Lord have color? Who the Lord was dealing with? Why was he dealing with them for? Was the Lord born? Did the Lord came just by his mother? Did he have a father? They can't even break that down. So the only way you could break anything down, the mysteries of the scriptures, is by what? Reading through the code. Right? It says, for with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith you may cause the weary to rest. So, yeah, trying to figure who you are, that is not a peaceful thing. You're going to find who you are. And it says, and this is a refreshing, yet they would not hear. Why? Because the majority of the people were blinded to the fact. Now, I wanted to go to the word weary, faint, exhausted, weary. Oh, there, wow. Languid, faint, thirsty, weary. So these people out here are still thirsty. They're thirsting for the truth, but only the elect can receive it. Henceforth, why once a man or woman, mainly the men of Israel, find themselves where? In the scriptures, in this truth. The Lord said, if you lose your life, you shall gain it. How do you lose something and gain? How do you lose your life and gain life? Because you're dead to the world. And if you're dead to the world, you find rest. And all this world produces is soulless individuals. Okay? But the elect find that resting place, like the scripture says. So with that being said, something real quick to the spirit. Shalom to the elected nations of Shalom.